never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Fine, I'm not.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Those of you that have today off because of the national holiday, I hope you're enjoying your 3-day weekend. Hopefully you've enjoyed the NFL wildcard weekend so far. We still have one more game coming up tonight with the Cowboys and the Bucks. But my show is brought to you by the Fan Boys and the Fan Girls at thefanboys.com, which I am a part of course, here on YouTube with Ref Brandon and the Todd Family, but also part of the Wrestling and Racing podcast that we do each and every week. And you can also check us out online for all your sports news and notes at winningedgesportsnetwork.com. But today here on the channel, we're going to talk some more about some college football conference quarterbacks, because so far we did a year-end review on the Pac-12 quarterbacks and a year-end review on the Big Ten quarterbacks. So today we're going to do a year-end review on the SEC quarterbacks. But as we go into it, in case you do not know, the SEC does their quarterback rankings a little bit different. So far, while doing the Pac-12 and the Big Ten, we've learned that those two conferences rank their quarterbacks top to bottom based on QBR, which for most people makes the most sense because, of course, every single school runs their offense a little bit different. They may be schematically the same because almost all schools now run the spread offense, but still you have some schools that run a spread offense that's more based on the run game, and then you have some schools that run a spread offense that's based on the passing game. Then you have some schools that run the spread offense that run 100 plays a game, and then you have some schools that run the spread offense but take their time snapping the ball, and they only run 60 plays a game. So, of course, depending on what school you play for, you're going to have more or less passing yards and more or less touchdowns based on how many times you throw the ball per game. So the Pac-12 and the Big Ten do theirs based on your overall QBR, because to most people, QBR is the most important stat for a quarterback, because QBR shows basically how many times you mess up per game. How many times did you cost your team a good play based on your decision and not the rest of your offense's decision. But the SEC ranks their quarterbacks based on passing yards. So they have you ranked top from bottom based on how many passing yards you had. If they did it with QBR, the number one quarterback in the SEC would have been Hendon Hooker, but it's not him. The best quarterback based on passing yards was Stetson Bennett. He had 4,127 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a QBR of 161.18. Will Rogers, 3,974 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and a QBR of 139.07. And the reason why I say QBR is the most important stat, because they look at it from their perspective is like if a quarterback gets sacked, sometimes the quarterback has a chance to throw the ball away and he just doesn't. He holds the ball so long, and eventually as a quarterback you have to realize nobody's open downfield. You either throw it out of bounds or you try to run with it. So if it's your fault, you took the sack and you had a chance to either run or throw the ball away, but you chose not to, and you stood back there and took a sack and lost 7 yards, that goes against your QBR because that's your stupidity. Throw the ball away, run with it. But if it's a sack where your offensive line was so bad that you took the snap and before you looked up, you got sacked, that's not your fault. So sometimes a sack hurts your QBR, sometimes it doesn't. If you have time to throw it away and you don't, that's on you. If you don't have time to throw it away, that's on your offensive line. Number 3, Bryce Young. He had 3,328 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, QBR of 163.20. And then we have the aforementioned Hendon Hooker, who had 3,135 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, and a QBR of 175.51. And that's why the QBR was so high. When you throw the ball as much as Tennessee does and you only throw 2 interceptions, you're going to have a really good QBR because you're not making a lot of bad throws. Number 5, Spencer Rattler, 3,026 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, a QBR of 138.74. Jackson Dart, 2,974 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and a QBR of 143.59. Jaden Daniels, 2,913 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 144.54 was his QBR. Brady Cook, 2,739 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 133.23 for the QBR. KJ Jefferson, 2,648 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 165.21. Anthony Richardson, 2,549 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a QBR of 151.88. Will Levis, 2,400 206 passing yards. His overall QBR was 151.88. Then we have Robbie Ashford, 1,613 passing yards, only 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, and 107.04. The bottom two, not really much to talk about because one of them was a starting quarterback when the year started, lost his job, and then got it back, and now he's transferred. The other one was not the starting quarterback when the year started, but got the starting role late in the season. So neither one of them, stats-wise, did a whole lot. Next to last is A.J. Swann, who started the year as the backup for Vanderbilt, and then he got the job from Mike Wright. Of course, Mike Wright's now transferred, so A.J. Swann is, I'm guessing, going to be Vandy's starting quarterback next year. He only had 1,274 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a QBR of 126.77. And then dead last is the guy that started the year as a starting quarterback and then lost his job and then become the starter again late in the season. And now he's transferred to Georgia Tech, and he will undoubtedly be Georgia Tech's starting quarterback at least to start the season next year. And that's, of course, Texas A&M's quarterback, Haynes King, who had 1,220 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, and a QBR of 116.35. And I've never understood why everybody thinks Jimbo Fisher is this great quarterback coach, but yet all the quarterbacks he gets suck. I don't understand how you get all these 4- and 5-star quarterbacks that's supposed to be so good, and they go play for Jimbo Fisher, and they all suck out loud, but yet we still call Jimbo Fisher a quarterback guru, a quarterback whisperer. He's so good with quarterbacks. I don't see it. I've never seen it. I still don't see it. And I guarantee you, as we head into the 23 football season, people are going to be saying, boy, Jimbo Fisher's got some great quarterbacks. And you know what they'll do? They'll suck. Any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I recently went to the world's tiniest wind turbine exhibit. Honestly, not a big fan. And don't forget, we want to send a quick shout out to our sponsors, Arden's Burger and Grill in Central South Carolina, and Ride and Shine Detail of the Upstate. And also don't forget about our non-profit organization, Building Homes, Rebuilding Lives, Homes for the Troops. Check out their website, hfotusa.org. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.